We good to go? Okay. Well, I want to welcome everybody to the 2020 TBA annual meeting. We are so happy to have some of you joining us here in person, as well as so many others joining us virtually. We want to thank the Shawnee County District Court for allowing us to have the live portion of the event here in Judge Parrish's courtroom. And thank you to Judge Teresa Watson and her assistant Angela for coordinating the details here at the courthouse. We really appreciate that. It goes without saying that 2020 has been a strange year for the TBA. However, because of the awesome support of our legal community, the TBA is in good shape. Our membership numbers are good, and in fact, they're slightly better than where they were last year. Our finances are in good shape as well. And this is very much a credit to our executive director, Amanda Coleman, who started with us about a month before, or even less than a month before the pandemic hit. So thanks to all the work that she has done, and thanks to all of you for supporting the TBA during these difficult times. And to that extent, we also want to recognize the 2020 TBA sponsors. The Platinum sponsors are Roger Fincher, Attorney at Law, Fisher Patterson, Saylor and Smith, and the Folston Law Firm. The Gold sponsors, Sloan Law Firm, and Goodell, Stratton, Edmonds, and Palmer. The Silver sponsors, Alderson, Conklin, Crowe, and Slinkard, LLC. Bronze sponsors, Parish Hotels, and Newberry, Unger, and Hickert, LLP. We also want to recognize the 2019-2020 Board of Directors, the President, myself, Vincent Cox, President-elect Bob Alderson, Treasurer Sarah Morse, Secretary Jim McIntyre, the directors practicing for more than 26 years, Dave Heineman and Greg Lee, directors practicing from 13 to 26 years, Rich Schoenfeld and Scott Tadikin, and directors practicing less than 13 years, Whitney Casement and Jessica Domi, the honorary president, Linda Elrod, and the immediate past president, Diane Belquist. I'm now going to ask Jim McIntyre to come forward to recognize our committee chairs.
As you all know, much of the work of the Topeka Bar Association is performed by the various standing committees that we have. And it's a real pleasure to be able to recognize the members of those committees and the chairman of those committees that have been so integral to our operations for so long. The Bench and Bar Committee is chaired by Alan Alderson. The CLE Committee is chaired by Jessica Domi, who is also a director on the Board of Directors. The Criminal Law Committee is chaired by Judge Osman. The Family Law Committee is chaired by Bill Ebert. The Law Day Committee is co-chaired by Lisa Brown and Angel Zimmerman. The Lawyers Assistants Committee is chaired by Jeb Benfer. The Legislative Committee is chaired by Dave Heineman. Ann Kingling is the chair of our Medical Law Committee. We have co-chairman of our Membership Committee, and they are both board members. That's Rich Schoenfeld and Scott Tadigan. Dan Groniger chairs the Memorials Committee. Pedro Iragangaray chairs the Naturalization Committee. Richard Harmon did chair the Probate Committee last year. Brian Jakes is currently the chair of that committee. Lucky DeFries chairs the Professional Ethics Committee. Jennifer Hayes chairs the Program and Entertainment Committee. Jennifer Cocking represents and chairs the Public Relations Committee. Emily Donaldson chairs the Service to Bar Committee. Danielle Hall chairs the Technology Committee. And Mary Kuckelman is the immediate past president of the Young Lawyers Division, and the current president is Ryan Brungar. We also have a new committee that Mr. Cox has renovated and brought out of its defunctness. That is the Publications Committee, and Vince has decided to take that on, which we greatly appreciate, and he will be involved with our publications from this point on. Again, thank you very much to the chairman and to the members of our committees. if you are not on a committee, but would like to be, by all means, we can find you work. We can find you a committee that you can participate in. Just contact either me or contact Amanda Coleman, and we will find a place for you to serve the TBA.
Thank you, Jim. Next, we want to take a moment to recognize the past presidents of the TBA that are in attendance with us today. And those are the Honorable Marla Lukert, the Honorable Teresa Watson, Art Glassman, Steve Kavanaugh, Alan Alderson, Dan Crow, Doug Shima, Terry Beck, Jim Parrish, Laura Graham, and Diane Belquist. And if there are any other past presidents that are joining us today virtually, of course, we would like to recognize you as well. We thank all of you for your service to the Topeka Bar Association. The next item of business is for me to call forward Jessica Domi, our secretary, to read the 2019 annual meeting minutes.
Good afternoon. I am Jessica Domi, and I'm currently serving, nominated for your treasurer or your secretary. I would start to read the 2019 annual meeting minutes.
I would move for the waiver of the reading of the minutes and that they be accepted as written.
Second.
Greg Lee has moved and Jim McIntyre has seconded. All those to support that motion, please vote aye. Those opposed, nay. Go ahead and close the poll. The motion carries. Thank you. I would call forward Greg Lee to read our 2020 Treasurer's Report.
Thank you, Jessica. At this time, I propose reading an extended treasurer's report.
I'll move reading be waived and the report be accepted as written.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It appears the motion passes. I'd now call on someone to report on the nominating committee. Vince Cox.
Thank you, Jessica and Greg. We appreciate that. And we're glad that even virtually we can maintain the tradition of waiving the reading of those reports, which I know would have been excellent. But next, I do want to give the nominating committee report. In January, I selected the TBA nominating committee per the bylaws in my role as president. That committee was chaired by immediate past president Diane Belquist. The members of the nominating committee were Dave Newberry, Kyle Mead, Aaron Beckerman, Jeremy Graber, Miranda Carmona, Larry Carnes, Jennifer Cocking, and Terry Beck. The nominating committee met and unanimously voted for the following nominations of members who are willing to serve in their respective positions. The nominations were President Bob Alderson, President-elect Jim McIntyre, Secretary Jessica Domi, Treasurer Sarah Morse, Board of Directors, practicing less than 13 years, Mary Kuckelman and Whitney Casement, Board of Directors practicing between 13 and 26 years, Scott Tadikin and Rich Schoenfeld, and directors practicing greater than 26 years, Greg Lee and Dave Heineman. Following the passing of Bob Alderson, Jim McIntyre took the position of president and Sarah Morse was appointed president-elect. Greg Lee was then appointed treasurer, and finally Larry Root was appointed as a new director to take Greg Lee's place in the greater than 26 years of practice director position. Also the honorary president, I left that out. The honorary president nominated is Tom Wright. So at this time, I would call for any nominations from the floor. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the slate of officers as stated for the 2020-2021 TBA year?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
If there are any opposed, please say nay. And if you're virtual, please respond to the poll question. And we are good. The poll is closed. The motion has passed. I appreciate everyone's support during this nominating procedure process. We felt it was important to get this matter of business done, even though it happened 7 months later than it normally would have. Now it is my pleasure to recognize our former executive director, Tiffany Fisher, with an Outstanding Service Award. Tiffany joined the Topeka Bar Association as executive director in 2013. And I joined the TBA Board of Directors shortly after Tiffany started. So I had the pleasure of working with Tiffany for essentially her entire 7-year tenure with the TBA. Everybody who knows Tiffany knows she's well organized, she's a good planner, and a hard worker. But above all, everyone knows that she's a very friendly person that is a pleasure to be around. And she was always a pleasure to be around at all the various events that we had. Tiffany, the TBA is in a better place now because of the 7 years you served our organization. So if you would please join me in congratulating Tiffany for this Outstanding Service Award. Tiffany would like to present you with this token of our appreciation.
Thank you very much, Vince. Thank you all. I was honored, surprised, pleased, and just very grateful for this opportunity to not only work with the TBA, but all of you over the years, and miss you all, but appreciate being here today. So thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Tiffany. I would now call up Jason King to present the Liberty Bell Award to the Shawnee County District Drug Court.
Good afternoon. I'm Jason King from the Shawnee County Public Defender Office, here to award the Liberty Bell Award to the 3rd Judicial District Drug Treatment Court Program. Okay, so when I was talking about what to do with respect to this introduction, I told Amanda Wilson, the program director, that I was going to refer to her as the Keanu Reeves of our program. Her response was, "You're high." So Amanda, challenge accepted. I've been fortunate to be a part of the drug court program for the vast majority of my 20, however many plus years of practice. And it's unlike the general practice of criminal law because of things like compassion, because of things like empathy, because of the commitment and dedication of the team members in the program, including Rick Anson, who's from treatment, New Dawn Treatment here, Briss McConico, one of the probation officers. Judge Bill Osman is the leader of the program in a lot of ways. It is the best part of my job. It's the part of my job that I'm most proud of. And I consider myself to be very fortunate to be a part of this program. Now, Keanu Reeves. There was a movie made a few years ago called The Replacements, and it's about a replacement football team that's coached by Gene Hackman. And the team comes together, plays really well, so well they make the championship game, at which point the owner brings back the high-priced quarterback and benches the replacement quarterback. The team plays terribly, and as Gene Hackman is walking off the field, somebody at halftime asked him, what's going on? Why is the team so bad? And he taps his heart and he says, "Heart, we need heart." Well, come out of the second half, the high-priced quarterback is benched and the replacement quarterback comes in, plays for the team, leads them to the championship. That quarterback was Keanu Reeves. The judge, the district attorney's office, the treatment providers, court services officers, defense counsel, we're all members of the drug court team. We're all members. We all play our part. We all do the best we can to get the results that we want with respect to the program. But Amanda is the Keanu Reeves of our program. She's the one that brings the team together. She leads this program. She's the heart. She's the soul of this program. And she is why this program is so successful and so special to me and to many other people in the system, I guess you'd say. So I guess it's with great pleasure that I would introduce Amanda to get this award.
Well, I don't know how I can follow that. And I also, fear you're in for great disappointment, given I've been compared to the great Keanu Reeves, which I can't fathom, but I'm going to do my best. Thank you, Topeka Bar Association, for recognizing our program with this award. We are excited and honored by your recognition. I'm here today accepting this award on behalf of the entire drug court team. As previously mentioned, Judge Osman and I both joined the program in 2018 and were immediately faced with the daunting task of completely overhauling the program model. This large and intimidating job truly was a team effort with many committed professionals involved. Judge Osman is here participating virtually today, and I have to start with crediting him as the drug treatment court judge who worked diligently to get our new program running successfully. He cares very much about each individual participant, and it shows week after week. Mr. King just spoke regarding his nomination of our program, amongst other things, Keanu Reeves football. And he specifically told me not to mention him. But I would be remiss if I did not thank him, not only for his legal representation and advocacy of our participants, but also for being our resident drug court expert, as he's the only person with the Shawnee County that has been with the Shawnee County Drug Court Program since its inception in 2002. Sebastian Orozco of the Northeast Kansas Conflicts Office also serves on our team, providing legal counsel and client advocacy. The Shawnee County District Attorney's Office has provided us a prosecutor to be present every Monday afternoon in court, and their Chief of Staff, Charles Kitt, has participated as an invested and instrumental member of our program steering committee. Vallejo Recovery Center, New Dawn Wellness and Recovery, and the VA provide substance abuse treatment for our participants. As rehabilitation and treatment are core to our program, so are these counselors. As Mr. King mentioned, Mr. Rick Anson is present with us today. He is our counselor with New Dawn. And I can confidently state that our program and our participants could not ask for a more committed treatment provider who goes above and beyond every day. Briss McConico is also present in the courtroom. Mr. McConico and Mr. Matt Lang are the court service officers who closely supervise the drug treatment court participants. While I coordinate the dockets, crunch the numbers, write grants, and collect data, these two gentlemen do the real work, supervising compliance while building relationships built on trust and respect. I need to thank the judges of Shawnee County for their support, and the Topeka and Shawnee County Special Alcohol and Drug Advisory Council, the Shawnee County Commission, and the Topeka Police Department for funding our program. 90% of their funding goes directly into substance abuse treatment, so they're truly investing back into our community. Last but not least, I feel it's important to acknowledge our drug treatment court participants, some of who have accomplished what they once believed impossible. While we provide treatment, resources, structure, and support, the work they put into their own recovery and turning their lives around is immeasurably more difficult than ours. Finally, thank you to everyone in the room and watching for the work you do within our legal system. It's often not easy, pleasant, or thankful, which is what makes receiving an award like this very special. But you remain committed to the judicial process and helping those in our community who often need it the most. Thank you so much on behalf of Drug Treatment Court.
I would now call upon Jim McIntyre to present the Outstanding Young Lawyer Award to Mary Kuckelman.
It's a real pleasure for me to present the Outstanding Young Lawyer Award to Mary Kuckelman. Those of you that know Mary know that she's originally from the Atchison-Leavenworth area, and she's from a big family of lawyers up in that area. Her father is a district court judge, Gerald Kuckelman, who I've appeared before in the past. Her brother is an attorney. She has two uncles that are attorneys. And just in case the Kuckelman family is in danger of running out of lawyers, she has two cousins that are in law school, including Jacob, who is in his first year at Washburn Law. So she comes from a family tradition of service to the legal profession. And she is carrying on that family tradition in the best possible way. Mary grew up in Atchison. She graduated from Atchison High School. She attended St. Louis University, where she graduated, and then spent some time studying in Spain. When she came back to the United States, she enrolled at KU Law School. And after graduating from KU, it was our good fortune to have her come to Topeka, where she worked for a number of years with the Warner, Reeder, and Gerard law firm. But for the past year, she has been in-house counsel at CBW Bank. Mary is an energetic, hardworking young attorney who has just recently been the past president of the Young Lawyers Division of the TBA. She's been a prominent board member now. I think she's on her second year on the TBA board. She's active in a number of legal, civic, and religious organizations. She's active in the Sam Crow Inns of Court. She is a person who is devoting herself to the betterment of the legal profession and has certainly been an asset to the Topeka Bar and to the TBA in particular. So it's a great pleasure to me to provide and present to Mary Kuckelman the Outstanding Young Lawyers Award. If she'd come up and receive it, please.
Thank you, Jim, for your kind words of introduction. I have to say that I'm humbled to be recognized amongst the other esteemed award recipients this year, and also to be recognized by an organization that has meant a lot to me so far in my career. Here in Topeka, we're fortunate to have a very strong and active bar association full of attorneys who are willing to reach out to young lawyers and encourage them in their careers. I know that I've certainly benefited from the connections that I've made and have received lots of encouragement and inspiration for professional excellence from the other members of the bar. Young Lawyers Division played an important role in me getting more involved in both the Bar Association and the larger legal community here in town. When I arrived as a new attorney here in Topeka, the current members of the YLD welcomed me and offered me encouragement and support to get involved. And so it became important to me as I became more established in the profession to continue to support YLD and to make sure that the next rounds of new admittees to the profession have the same opportunities and benefits. And I've been thrilled to serve as an officer of YLD for the past couple of years and to continue to support that demographic of attorneys here in town as the director on the TBA. I'd also like to offer a couple of thank yous before I hand the microphone back over. First of all, I'd like to thank last year's YLD officers, Ryan Brungart, Samantha Wagner, and Allison Zerby. These young attorneys worked really hard to put on the fall golf tournament, host a couple of different socials for the Bar Association, and also to carry out the bar's annual holiday family adoption service project. I'd also like to thank Vince Cox for his support and enthusiasm for YLD during his tenure as president. He offered us all the support and encouragement we needed to carry out programming, and that was very appreciated. And lastly, but probably most importantly, I'd like to extend thank yous to both Amanda Coleman and Tiffany Fisher. These ladies are a great asset to the TBA, and they put in a lot of time and effort into the planning and putting on of every TBA event. And I hope they know that their efforts are appreciated, not only by the YLD, but by the larger bar, because we certainly couldn't do it without them. So thank you to the TBA for this honor. Congratulations to the other award recipients. And I look forward to hopefully seeing everyone in person again soon.
I would now call on Michelle Slinkard to present the Honorable E. Newton Vickers Professionalism Award to Bob Alderson.
I nominated W. Robert Alderson, or as most of us knew him, Bob Alderson, for the Honorable E. Newton Vickers Award because I believe his honesty and integrity encouraged me and others to follow the highest standards of the legal profession. Bob was a friend and mentor to me for over 20 years before his sudden passing in June of this year. Bob fully embodied everything a lawyer should be. He was dependable and he was hardworking. Even at 80 years old, Bob maintained a full caseload. He came to work every day, even Saturdays. He was passionate and he was quick-witted. He was proud to be a member of the legal profession and truly loved the work he did. We are all much better people for having the opportunity to know Bob. Bob was magnetic. Wherever he went, he left with new friends. I admired Bob for the bond and friendship that he had with lots of his clients that most attorneys do not understand or appreciate. His clients were loyal to him and he was loyal to them. Many of his clients became personal friends. He was committed to making Topeka a better place to live and was very actively involved in the community. He was actively involved in his church. He enjoyed the Topeka Jazz Workshops, loved civic theater, Noto, and the Topeka Zoo, just to mention a few. He also went to the gym almost every day and had a wide social network there too. In the summers, he would take a week off to spend at a church camp mentoring young boys and girls. I'm not sure if he got more out of it or they did, but you could tell he thoroughly enjoyed his time with them. Bob was also devoted to his family. He was married to his wife, Ruth, for more than 48 years. He loved his 2 daughters and his 2 grandchildren dearly. He was very much a family man. You could always find him outside playing with his 2 beloved dogs in the evening. And if all of this didn't explain Bob's dedications to the things he loved, what about the decades of support for the Royals and KU football? At times, I bet Bob and Ruth were the only ones still left in the stadium. No matter how bad his team was, he was still their #1 fan year after year. At 80 years old, Bob truly wanted to serve and be president of the TBA. He did not think of this as an obligation or a chore. He was committed to growing and improving the TBA any way he could. He wanted to serve and be the president of this organization. He was energetic and truly lived life until the end. I admire and will always respect his enthusiasm for life. He is very deserving to be honored by the organization he was proud to be a part of for decades and led in his final days. Bob, I know you can hear me. You are loved and missed every day. And since you are not able to accept this award on your own behalf, I would ask that your dear wife, Ruth Alderson, and partner and brother, Alan Alderson, accept this award on your behalf. It is well deserved.
I want to comment on something Michelle just said. About 2 weeks ago, I had a gentleman come into my office who is a principal in a corporation that Bob has represented for, I don't know how many years, but many years. And he had to pick up the books and records of the corporation because we had no one to take Bob's place. And he went over and over telling me, you know, there just isn't anybody else that could do what Bob's done for us. And I can tell you also from my personal knowledge, Bob and I both have always felt good feelings about the Topeka Bar Association. We both wanted to be very active, and I know if Bob were here, he'd be very honored that the TBA had given him this award. I want to introduce you to Ruth, my sister-in-law, and she will accept on behalf of Bob and his family.
This is a great honor, and I'm proud to receive this award for Bob. He loved his career, and he valued his friendship, relationships that he had with his law partners and with other lawyers in the city. He was energized about becoming your president, and I know he would really be humbled and honored in receiving this important award. On behalf of my daughters and myself, thank you.
And just to follow up on that a little bit, I'd just like to comment how much Bob meant to me. You know, I first met him on the golf course before he even knew I was a lawyer. And then he was just to me, he was a huge encouragement of what the Bar Association is all about, encouraging me as a new lawyer. And in many ways, I'm thankful that Bob and I were able to spend several hours together working to replace our executive director in February. And so it was really meaningful now that I got to spend that kind of time with him. But next, I'd like to call up Judge Teresa Watson to present the Warren W. Shaw Distinguished Service Award to Jeb Benfer.
Thank you, Vince. Good afternoon. It's really great to be here today in the courtroom in person with some of our friends from the TBA, and it's great to have the rest of you remotely by Zoom. Really special day today. We have some really outstanding award recipients. I just can't tell you how great it is to be here with everyone, the Alderson family and other friends. I'm Teresa Watson, and I'm honored this year to present the Warren W. Shaw Distinguished Service Award to James E. Benfer III. This award recognizes a lawyer for exemplary service to the legal profession. Warren W. Shaw was an amazing person. You can read more about him in this month's edition of the TBA briefings. Jim McIntyre wrote a great article about Mr. Shaw's life and accomplishments, and I really recommend it. It's really worth reading. But today I want to tell you a little bit about my friend, Jeb Benfer. Jeb has practiced law in Topeka for nearly 40 years. He's with McCullough, Wareheim, and LeBunker. He's a longtime member of the Topeka Bar Association, the Kansas Bar Association, and the Kansas Trial Lawyers Association. He's been recognized as an excellent lawyer by his peers across the state. You can read more about Jeb and his career in the biography in your program today, but I want to tell you a little bit more about him because his career, his accomplishments as a lawyer, those really aren't the reasons why he so richly deserves this recognition by the Topeka Bar Association. Jeb has provided decades of exemplary service to the legal profession and the Topeka Bar through his tireless leadership of the local Lawyers Assistance Committee. I and the other members of that committee have nominated him for this award today. The committee is committed to providing confidential and meaningful assistance to lawyers and law students in coping with alcohol or drug addictions, mental illness, or any other personal or professional crises. This is not just another committee assignment. Jeb has spent his life using his personal experience to help others in the legal profession one-on-one to find help and hope in a variety of crises and recovery situations. His personal and significant sacrifice of time has helped literally save the personal and professional lives of so many, including lawyers in our own association and statewide through his service on the Kansas Lawyers Assistance Program. By helping lawyers who struggle with addiction or illness, Jeb has advanced the administration of justice and the interests of the clients, lawyers, and judges who operate within the system. Jeb has spent his legal career helping others, lawyers and clients alike. I am certain that some of you present in the courtroom today or watching this meeting by Zoom have been helped by Jeb. While he has created an outstanding resume as a lawyer and has risen to the top of his field, Jeb's most important and long-lasting contribution to this profession has been his unselfish, unpaid, and unsung support of lawyers suffering from addiction or illness. Jeb meets and exceeds the criteria for the Warren W. Shaw Distinguished Service Award, and honoring him with this award is the perfect way to recognize Jeb for his truly life-changing work. Jeb, my friend, congratulations.
Thank you. I hope you can all hear. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Well, when I found out about this a couple weeks ago, when Jim McIntyre called me, I was surprised. I had some thoughts put together, but let me share that 34 years ago on this day, I was working at this firm. I was 2 months and 1 day clean and sober. I was scared and did not want to go back to where I had been in the past. And being scared caused me to reach out to a friend, and that's what this program is all about, is someone being there when someone reaches out. Pardon me. It leads people, being scared leads people to a willingness to become teachable, to do things that need to be done. For me, I had not been teachable for many years. It's what helped me reach out to Judge Terry Bullock, who answered the phone. And he and I had talked before. He knew I had some issues. And his comment was, "Hi, pal, how you doing?" And it was that instant acceptance that came from him that helped me make good decisions about what needed to happen in my life. And that's what this committee is about. It's about that connection. It's about an instant sense that someone cares and that things are going to be okay. This is emotional for me, so I'm grateful to have been able to get my feet on the ground and change my life. There was certainly a path I was on that would have led me to ruin, and I was one of the lucky ones. We need to always keep that door open for people. I have a few closing thoughts. I don't want to talk too long, but one of the things that is real important for people to remember is that no one ever starts out drinking or using planning on ending up becoming dependent on that process. It happens over time. The line gets blurred along the way, and before you know it, the problem's a problem. A good friend of mine shared with me many years ago, he had seen a bumper sticker that summed it all up. And the bumper sticker read, "The trouble with trouble is that it starts out as fun." And for me and for many, that is what happens, and that's the truth. So if you find yourself having too much fun, pick up the phone, call a friend. We'll be here. And thank you for acknowledging the committee and the work that it does and my part in that. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Jeb. And we have your award here, and we will make sure that we get that to you very soon.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
It is certainly an honor and a pleasure for me to present the past president's awards. Actually, I'm going to present two of them here today. First, I'm going to make the award presentation to Bob Alderson. Much has been said about Bob already, and I'm not going to try to improve upon what Michelle said. But I too, like Vince, worked with Bob on the board for many years. He and I originally came on as the over 26-year old guy category representatives. And we served together for a long time on the TBA board. Bob really wanted to be the president of this organization. I think he looked forward to that for a long time. And I'm so glad he got to do that, even though it was for a very short period of time. He would have been an outstanding president. He was an outstanding president-elect. He was an outstanding treasurer and an outstanding director of the TBA. And at 80 years of age, he truly had enthusiasm and energy for the job. That's an age when some people don't want to take on new challenges, don't want new responsibilities, but he did. I mean, he absolutely had lots of ideas and plans, and he shared them with us. And he was such a pleasant person to deal with. Bob had a great sense of humor. It was unbelievably dry and funny, gentle way about him. And I never, I'm sure Alan and Ruth did, but I never saw him lose his temper. And all the time I was with him. The one possible exception to that was he became irritated with some of the things that had been done with the golf tournament. He didn't like some of the gambits or the extra things that, like mulligans, other things like that to raise additional money at the golf tournament. And at one point in time, I remember him saying this. He said, "Golf should be pure and Scotch straight." I don't know why I remember that, but I remember that for him. In any event, I'm happy he did get to serve for the short period of time that he did. I'm sorry that he's not here today to make these speeches on behalf of the TBA. In any event, I'm very pleased and honored, as I said, to present to Ruth and to Alan the award, Past President's Award for Bob Alderson. So if you'd like to come up and receive it, please.
Thank you.
Again, very briefly, I know Bob would be very pleased and was enthusiastic about being the president. So this would be very meaningful to him.
It's also an honor for me to present the Past President's Award to this next gentleman. Vince Cox has been a truly magnificent president of this organization. I can't imagine having a much more difficult tenure than what he's had. Halfway through his tenure, our outstanding executive director, Tiffany Fisher, took a note, gave us her notice, and took a job with the Supreme Court. Tiffany was such an important part of this organization that her loss was truly a significant blow. Vince took about a day maybe to think about that and organized a committee, a search committee, enlisted various people to help him with that. But Vince really spearheaded the look for a new executive director last January, February. We had some meetings. He made sure that the position was properly advertised and made sure that we interviewed all the prospective candidates. And thank God we came up with Amanda Coleman. And Amanda Coleman is going to be one of the real testaments, I think, to Vince's service as president of this organization. And he has done an absolutely terrific job. And during the period of time between Amanda and Tiffany, after Tiffany left and before Amanda started, Vince was our executive director. You know, in addition to practicing law, I'm sure what he needed was another 40-hour-a-week job running an organization. But he did it. He picked up where Tiffany left off. He's the one that opened the mail. He's the one that answered the mail. He's the one that made sure the bills got paid. He's the one that did all the things, administrative and otherwise, that the executive director did it without complaint, and did a magnificent job keeping this business moving forward, this organization moving forward until Amanda could come on board. And then, as soon as Amanda comes on board, COVID-19 hits us, and suddenly we have a whole new set of problems, all of which Vince had to deal with and dealt with very well. We had to cancel our annual meeting. We had to cancel all in-person meetings as far as that went. Between Amanda and Vince, they came up with alternatives with virtual meetings such as this one. This is, of course, the first virtual annual meeting that we've ever had. And seminars, webinars, all kinds of things to keep us involved with our membership and to keep the membership, to give the membership options of things to do with respect to the TBA. And that was Vince. Vince was the one that spearheaded that, led that, handled that, and kept us going. And then even since he no longer was the president, which I know maybe that's today, but it was sort of back in May. Vince continued to be involved and continued to lead this organization, and even opted to take on new responsibilities as chairman of our publications committee, which, as I indicated earlier, had not existed for a long time. So, Vince, we owe you a great debt of gratitude, and I do particularly. You have been a real support and a real help to me. I wasn't planning on having this job quite yet, and I would have made a real hash of it if it weren't for you and the support and the advice that you have provided me over the last 6 months. I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to present to Vince Cox the Past President's Award.
Thank you, Jim. I really appreciate that. And I just appreciate all of the support that I've been given by the board and all the other TBA members, not just during my year as president, but as I have served on the board and moved up into this position. So, and while I appreciate all of Jim's kind words, I could not have gotten through this year without all the support of the board members who all stepped up when it was time to take care of business when we didn't have an executive director for a while. So I appreciate the kind words, Jim, and I appreciate everything that everybody did to support me through that time. So, but Jim sat down a little bit too quickly, because now is the time, even though this is a few months late, to present Jim with his gavel as the new president of the Topeka Bar Association. So congratulations.
This is traditionally the place where the new president makes a very short speech. And this is going to be in tradition, a very short speech. I want to thank Judge Parrish for letting us use her courtroom here. Judge Watson, who is one of the primary movers and shakers in setting this up the way it has been set up, and I think it's been a real success. And I'm so glad that she let us use the courthouse and have our ceremony in this fashion. And I particularly want to thank our truly amazing executive director, Amanda Coleman, who has been the director, the producer, the screenwriter, the cameraman, the everything for this production today. And as usual, she gets us through every bump in the road and makes sure that things happen the way they should. So thank you, Amanda. Thank you all. Hope you come to our next meeting, which will be back here at the courthouse in the first Friday of December, when we will be unveiling judges' portraits. And that should be an interesting show as well. So I hope you come back and help us participate on that day.